Salutations, future Twig. Past Twig here once again, and we're back with our miniature machination for everybody. Today we're actually looking once again at the Warband. I'm sorry, I lied. I forgot there's one more character involved with this Warband, which is actually m0ther, which is Unit 0, or the Warband leader for this Warband. And let's get right into it. Here she is. As you can probably tell, given the lid at the bottom that I use as the base for this miniature, she's a much bigger miniature than most of the other ones in this unit. Her base is probably closer to like 100 millimeters or a little bit more. However big these like blender bottle caps are, like the ones that you go on top of like the little shaker bottles that you have for like blender and such. As you can see, looking at the bottom, you can actually see a piece of grating there that actually came from the bottom of a stick of deodorant. As well as most of this miniature was actually made using beads. I forget what she used. I think I used a couple of caps to make the majority of her body, and there was a lot of bead work after that. I also used some hot glue there, as you can see, to connect her upper torso to her lower spider body, just to kind of look like some wiring. I used part of a miniature that I had left over to kind of make out her human torso because I was not feeling like sculpting that. Used electronic bits and baubles to make her head, most of that being a couple of buttons off of a coffee maker, as you can see, with some little round half-dome beads to kind of form her eyes. I made some power claws, and this is an old trick I learned, which is that if you take a section of wiring and you basically kind of prime the bar and hold them together at the very end with a little bit of super glue and then go over it with Mod Podge, performs a very flexible but very effective power claws technique. And then I painted over those. I used parts of a wall anchor to kind of form like her armored gauntlets. I used a little tabby, like a little connector bit from an old computer, as you can see, for kind of like her dreadlocks that she has in the back. I used beads virtually everywhere. As you can see, her legs are actually built out of pieces of cardboard, fake nails, and beads held together with wire. Looking at the base itself, I actually had I kind of kept the blender bottle looking normal. As you can tell with this blender bottle on the side, it got melted by something, so I kind of used that as the inspiration for this, where it's kind of like an industrial pylon, maybe on the top of like an old factory, and as such you can tell it's like a forge-based thing, and there's a lot of heat on the inside there, and maybe it just kind of melted over time due to the damage. As you can see, looking at her back, that's actually another deodorant stick kind of piece of grating with some half-dome beads to form her rear. And then looking at the rest, it's actually mostly the paint job that's doing a lot of the work here. With this one, I went a lot more orange because I felt she was just going to be a lot more brighter than the rest of them. I also tried out some, I think it was black oil paint or something I had that was kind of like tarish looking, and I sprinkled that, put that over liberally over everything, and it kind of gives her this worn down, coated in tar and oil, just grungy kind of look, like she's been working at this factory for a very long time. And yeah, that's actually all I have for m0ther, which is kind of my little warband leader. And thank you all very much for watching this miniature machination. Have a great day, all. Take care.